Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with another episode of A Knight's Ransom. uh, we'd like to thank our sponsor, D&D Beyond. That is D, the letter N, dbeyond.com. A wonderful repository for everything 5e. You'll notice that tonight I am in a little bit of a different setup. As I have been well informing everybody, I will be moving in a couple weeks, and I'm using the underneath of my bed as a storage space for packed totes and boxes. So my desk is outside of underneath my bed, and now we can not have to worry about me disappearing in the dark. Uh, that being said, without further ado, let's hop into session. Well, when we last left this rather intrepid group of adventurers, they had successfully handled Jarvan, and the way through Arcala is now clear. The deal made with Karthus will stand, and the people of Arcala will be safe, at least from the army of Farah. And so they begin their journey towards Travercraig, a journey that should take them about a week. They are still ahead of the army, and hopefully can maintain their position ahead of the large force that is coming behind them. Party, you've headed west, saddled up either on your horses or in the cart. I would ask, what are you doing? But you're traveling. So party, what are you saying to each other as you travel?
Does anyone know anything about Travers Craig?
No. It's been a long time since I've been there.
First time I heard
I've
of it
never
was
been.
yesterday.
Well, that's just wonderful. We're all prepared then.
For all I know, their houses are made out of mushrooms.
Well, that would be quite a sight to see.
I could saute an entire house. Challenge accepted.
Oh no.
Fantastic.
Actually, sorry, I was looking for the knowledge because I forgot what I wrote up. But there are no giant mushrooms in Traverse Creek.
It's unfortunate to hear, but not all that unexpected.
It's a shame. I would have liked to see him saute a house.
Does he have a big enough pan for that?
There's ways.
Is it just lighting houses on fire at that point?
Not all that dissimilar, but there's a finesse.
I have family in Traverse Creek.
Oh. So then, fill us in. What do you know?
I delve very deeply into my brain as I let my waves float out to the space that the DM inhabits from my memories of
We
Traverse
can
Creek.
see the steam pouring out of your helmet.
um
Last you were there,
yes.
a pair of siblings. You're pretty sure they're twins, however, it was never confirmed nor denied if they were or were not.
Yeah.
And their names were. Please hold. Were Sir Jourdain the Warden and Dame Jesmond the Widowmaker.
That's
I bet they're an
And that's-
exciting
title.
couple.
Somebody has a hobby.
Can you say those one more time, Maddie?
Of course. Sir Jourdain the Warden and Dame Jesmond the Widowmaker. I will even be so nice as to spell them for you.
Oh, but I like just guessing and hoping for the best.
Wow, me too. How many L's are in Jasmine?
3 at least.
I am so glad
Thought
you
so.
guys think that, but I was watching every single one of you write Jarvan with an I, and Jarvan's name only contains A's.
I just avoided writing his name and said hammer all the time.
Like, every single, every note, Mom's notes have it too. Like, his name has I's in it when everybody else writes it, but the way that his name is supposed to be spelled, it's Jarvan. So there's only A's for vowels, and nobody spelled it that way.
Well, you see, in D&D, names are a fluid thing.
Yes, of course.
It's always an interesting time.
Yeah. Please hold. I am just for your informations.
Oh, I love information.
So the one that you're seeing on screen, with the teal spiked armor is Jesmond.
God damn.
Yeah, she's a bit of a badass. And then the one in dark burgundy, also with a horned motif, is Jourdain.
Man, they'd get along really well with a character I used to know, just look-wise.
Just okay. So, guys, tip: don't hug them. They're spiky.
I'm afraid I don't know much of that. It's been a few years as well since I've been back to visit.
Mavic, you are muted because I'm watching you speak and nothing is coming out.
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. What were you saying?
Just saying that we don't want to approach these two the same way we handled the situation back in Arcala.
Preferably.
What could possibly go wrong?
A lot.
Um, so yes, the one in teal is Jourdain, and the one in burgundy is nope. Sorry, teal is Jesmond, burgundy is Jourdain.
And Sasha, you said you have family there.
Yes. Well, a brother.
Oh, will he be able to help accommodate anything?
Um, Usually it's just me and one other, but more than likely, probably not.
Excellent.
Well,
Handy to
depending.
have. Handy
but-
to know someone at least.
We can visit. He's a blacksmith.
Oh, excellent.
That would be excellent.
You do remember a very specific tavern
I
called
remember this one specific tavern. It's
yes,
called
called the Filthy Hunter.
the Filthy Hunter.
It's like an interesting place.
Well, I guess we'll go check it out.
You also tell them of what could be argued as the most beautiful garden in Picity, rivaling even that of what is in Silver Summit. And it is an ornate plot of grass that is encircled by luscious hedges. There is a greenhouse in this garden that houses all sorts of exotic plants.
Huh?
You do know that the town tends to have a goblin problem every few months or so, and that despite having a very heavy presence of both knight lieutenants, there is a very large criminal element, and they don't hide it.
Okay.
So it's Gotham.
Sort of.
Well, then shall we go in?
I think
Well,
so.
whenever we go in, it will be.
I was going to say, you just started your journey and you have another 6 days on the road before you are even
Well-
remotely close to the town.
Listen, normally those 6 days take me like 3. I'm a power walker at best. Plus, I have an elk that's really fast. I blink and I'm there.
I still can't believe you talked me into letting you have an elk.
What do you mean let you talk? No, it's a spell.
I know it is. I know what I said.
Talk you
Do we
into
know if
shit.
there's anywhere to stay along the trip here? Or are we just going to be camping the entire time?
Do you not like camping?
I don't mind it. I just need to prepare a meal plan for the road.
I'm sure we'll find something. I do
Oh.
enjoy hunting every now and then, so finding us something to eat isn't unfamiliar to me.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing what you find for me.
Of course. I can find it.
I'm just kind of taking in the scenery as we mosey on about.
Okay. Your first day passes without issue. You settle in for the night, and you are you setting up watches, or are you trusting yourselves that everything is fine?
Bubble.
No, we'll set watches.
Yeah,
So I feel like watches is the standard.
especially if
take-
there's a goblin issue
Problem in
around.
the area. Exactly. I'll take last watch.
Okay.
I'll still set up tiny hut for us for watches as we go.
I'll continue
like a
to take
plan.
mid watch.
I'll take first.
I'll go wherever's needed.
Same. I guess
Apologies,
I'll
I am
do
just
middle
quickly
watch.
jotting down the thing that I asked you guys for.
I'll take first then.
Oh,
Cool. Whoever's on first watch, please give me a perception check.
I haven't pulled my character up yet. Whoops. Come here, Carissa.
22.
Some perception.
Yes, please.
17. Strong start tonight. I like it.
Hell yeah. Beyond the rustling that you hear in the forest, which sounds just like natural animal movements, you know, you got like a quick little dash as a hare is running through the underbrush, or something a little bit bigger than the hare, but you know, it's a raccoon. Nothing untoward that would make you nervous.
Cool. In that case, I am not nervous.
Fantastic. Who are you waking up for second watch?
Um,
take second
The
watch.
strange porcelain one.
I believe it wasn't it Otter,
I'm
Mavic,
second.
and Fred?
Sure.
Okay. I need all three of you to give me perception checks then, please. Also,
Sure.
welcome to session, Mom.
Yep. Sorry, guys.
No, it's all good. I know what you're going through for this weekend, so you're fine. Damn, look at you starting off strong.
For clarification, because I need to take my watch from the center of the bubble, is that a regular roll or disadvantage or
Yes.
anything?
No, it's still regular.
Okay.
Also, Sarah,
Yeah.
answer the damn question in the Discord chat.
If
If you don't want to tell everybody
My
else, you can just
apologies.
DM it to me.
Oh,
I'm just having fun making colors in the bubble. That is a total of 5.
Oh my god.
That is a 3 plus 2.
Fantastic.
thank Christ for Fred.
Fred.
Yep.
You hear it, but you're not sure exactly what direction it comes from. It sounds like somebody calling a name, but it's too far away to make out what name they're calling. So it's one of those, like, it's really distorted by the time it gets to you. And so you're not sure. It seems to be a very clear night, and there doesn't seem to be a lot in the way of things that would stifle the sound.
Do you guys hear
So-
that?
No, they don't.
Didn't hear a thing. What did you hear?
Well, some muffling sound. Sounds like someone calling for something, but I just can't make it out.
So not anything close by.
I don't think so.
Do you know
Well, we can at least take a
to-
turn around the camp to be extra sure.
Do you know what direction it came from, Fred?
Do I know what direction?
Roughly east.
I think it's
But the
coming.
way the sound bounced around, you couldn't pinpoint on an exact direction.
Maybe the east, but it just seemed to be coming from everywhere, like bouncing and moving around. It was really hard to figure it out. I wish you guys had heard it. I gotta be going crazy.
No, I'm sure you heard something,
Well,
but it doesn't sound like it's anything that's going to bother us.
we can certainly take a look. And poof,
Mhm.
owl.
I will, wander around the camp for a couple of circuits, just
Okay.
to keep my eyes and ears open.
Sure, now that you're on alert, you can go ahead and give me a perception check with advantage.
Okay, that worked.
My dice want nothing to do with me today. With advantage, that was a 4 on the die and another 2 on the die.
Okay.
So all of us, do you want it again for me as well?
Nope, just unless you're going around with Mavic, then yes, otherwise no.
Yep, I was sending
No, I
Tycho
will.
to go with him.
I will stay.
21 get me anything?
21 gets you a more definite direction. It is definitely coming from the southeast. And according to the map that you remember looking at, you're approaching a bridge, so there is a chance that whoever is calling for assistance may have fallen in the river. Not calling for assistance, calling out a name may have fallen in the river.
I think it's coming from the river. You want to go check it out with me?
The river is about a day's journey from where you are right now. So like
Oh.
it's because everything's so clear, the sound is traveling, but you are quite a ways away from the river.
Okay, so
Which isn't to
not
say
that
that you
then.
wouldn't be able to help them the next day if you run into them, but as of right now, there's nothing you can do.
So it's something far away. We're not likely to encounter whoever it is.
So you return. The rest of your watch passes without problem. And you wake Sasha for the last watch. Sasha, I would like you to give me a perception check, please.
So I am trying to focus mainly on sound and scent, if that helps at all. Just
Sure,
because
then roll it with advantage because of what you
I'm
are.
hoping, just because I'm like trying to pay attention because I'm the only one on watch right now, technically. Three of you decided to be on the same team and leave me all by myself. It's okay. I'm used to being alone.
Jesus Christ.
I'm kidding.
I'll say, if you're saying this out loud, I'm going to respond.
No, this isn't allowed. You think Sasha would cry about being alone?
You tell me.
Sasha's
People around.
preferred.
Not when
That's
there's
Sasha's
people around.
preferred.
No, he usually travels with his partner, but his partner's not with him. Because
I'm
he's
just
doing
saying,
it because
if you're
he's been
saying it
asked.
out loud, I'm going to respond.
23.
Two of us don't need to sleep.
I'm not really alone, but I don't know that. Okay.
So with a 23, you hear in the distance, coming from the northeast, what sounds like a pair of wings.
Okay.
But it is much larger than anything you would be familiar with. So, like, it's not a harpy.
Too big. Not big enough?
Too big.
Too big.
It's bigger than a harpy.
Oh, I was like, too big to not be a harpy?
No. bigger than a harpy.
Okay. Well,
Hopefully smaller than a dragon.
I know that we are in the tiny hut.
Yes.
So I know we are safe. So I'm just going to like mainly focus on where that sound is coming from. But I'm sort of positioned in a way where worst comes to worst, I will wake the others. Like I've gotten up and I've moved.
Sure. Yes, no, this is gonna work out great because Sasha hasn't met this NPC yet.
Oh, not this again.
But everybody else has. Except for Sasha. Not Sasha, except for
Kitchen?
no, yes, Kitchen and shit and Karasef. Only half of the party knows this NPC.
Dokey.
Well,
Stranger danger.
as soon as I start describing it, you guys are gonna recognize who it is.
Oh, I already know
promise.
who it is.
Is this Elida?
Dreamcat.
Um,
Give her a way of secrets, lady.
As you keep watch, dawn slowly rises. The sky goes from the dark blues of midnight to the purples and reds, oranges and yellows of the rising sun. And in the distance, as this is happening, as the sun rises and casts its morning glory all over the land, and the dew starts to, well, evaporate. Just outside of your bubble, speaking of which, Otter, what color does your bubble appear from the outside? If one were not allowed in it, what color is it?
To those not given permission, it would be like a stone gray.
Okay.
But if it is who I just mentioned, she absolutely has permission.
She won't fit.
I know, but her head could still come into it.
No. She puts her head in there, it will break Layman's tiny hut.
Okay, I'm just saying, as knowing
yeah.
her, she would be allowed.
As you watch her land, Sasha, this is very clearly female. Just to refresh everybody's memories, if I can find it. Oop. I thought I had it saved, and I do not. As she lands, it is a creature that you recognize for their reputation. With the head of a lion. Head of a lion? Hold on. I can't even remember what the description of my own monster is.
She's beautiful.
Body of a lion, head of a woman, wings.
Body of a goddess. Face of Aphrodite.
Pretty much.
Blessed with an ass almighty. Sorry.
That's okay. Weird, but okay.
It's actually from a song, but
I know. See, I am doing the smart thing. And I am pulling up Mom's notes because I know that they are in there. But yes, this Sphinx lands outside of the bubble and then settles in. Right, the body of a lion, the head of a human, with the wings of what looks like to be a griffin. And she settles there just to rest with her chin on her paws. She recognizes something. You're not sure what it is, because you've never met her before. And I'm gonna need you to give me a perception check, please. This one is using your eyes and not your nose.
$18.
Okay. You see movement in her fur. And it's not her moving, because she is now settled in stone still.
It's not a muscle twitch.
Nope. And as you just keep watching with unrestrained suspicion, it just keeps rustling and moving the fur around. Whatever it is.
Well, if I know them for their reputation, I'll go out. I'll say hello. I have no fear.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hello. I was not expecting you to step out of that particular bubble. You're new since the last that I saw this little group.
Figured there'd be a reason you'd land here of all places. Yes, helping them along journeys. As a guide of sorts. My name is Sasha Velkov.
It is nice to meet you, Sasha. I must ask you, just to prove your ability to reason, to answer a riddle for me. Just one.
Okay.
Some try to hide, some try to cheat, but time will show we always will meet. Try as you might to guess my name.
Not here to be smart. Just here to look good in a suit of armor. What was it again? Tell me again.
Some try to hide, some try to cheat, but time will show we always will meet. Try as you might to guess my name.
And the only thing that comes
Well,
to
Sasha is pondering
I know.
this. I'm just going to kind of turn my head from where I was sitting over to Sasha and Alita, recognizing what has landed there, and I'm just going to cut out the sphere and just kind of sit intently, staring over in their direction.
Okay.
If I start seeing steam come from Sasha, I'll head over there.
Steam doesn't come, but in all honesty, I'm not one that's good for riddles, but if I be honest, it sounds like the answer might be time.
It
Close.
is close. You can guess again if you like.
I don't have time for this.
No, technically you do, seeing as the rest of your group are still asleep. And she just gives a nod, seeing Orion wave.
If she nods, I'm sure I'd notice that since she's been still the
Yes.
entire time.
Yeah, no, you definitely see that.
And I would have guessed that perhaps that the magic bubble would have gone down, probably noticeable enough.
Oh yeah, no, if you look over your shoulder, the entire party is just open and exposed to the elements now.
Yeah, so
I've turned my torso so I'm facing you two, and I'm just kind of intently sitting there with like my book out.
like a
It's
creepy ass doll. All right. Well, it doesn't look like my party's asleep anymore. And Orion seems excited to see you.
Orion, Perhaps you might help your friend answer this riddle. Some try to hide, some try to cheat, but time will show we always will meet. Try as you might to guess my name.
I'm going to try my darndest to weave my way out of the party and make my way over there and kind of like sit down with Alita and Sasha. Now we don't have to worry about waking everyone else up. I saw you answer, Sasha, but if the question's still being brought up, it was not the right answer. What did you say?
Time.
Time. I see you've thought of some new riddles this time.
Give me another perception check, please, Orion, while you're attempting to puzzle this out. Also, I heard
Okay.
somebody else say that they knew it. DM me the answer. I want to see if you actually have it right.
I'm going to send one too.
That is a 14.
You also see the rustling within her fur.
If it's not time, you referenced age in one of your riddles last time, so I don't think you'd do something of the same answer. Is it death?
It is. Thank you, Cody, for sending me Snoop Dogg from the halftime show.
It was a good show.
Oh my god. Yes, the answer is death. Some will try to hide from death, and some will try to cheat death. However, time will show that we always will meet death.
Oh.
Although perhaps some of us are a little bit more resistant to it than others. As she just kind of glances down at Orion.
I mean, the same could be said for you. My dear, we've known each other quite some time.
True. But my species lives for a very long time.
You seem to be rustling.
Am I? Oh, yes. And then she kind of goes a little bit. She gets like as low to the ground as she can.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the pair of you see a small elven head pop out of her fur.
Well, hello there.
Alita, those aren't my parents.
I would be worried if I was. Who are you? Welcome to our camp.
This is why I shouldn't prep things at work.
What is your name, child?
Oh, Maddie. You should know better by now.
I'm gonna ask.
No, I know this is my own fault. I sat down and I was like, yeah, I got this all prepped, and then I'm like, wait. As soon as you asked, what's your name, I realized I didn't name the child.
So it's the child.
Ellie.
Is it male or female?
You're not sure yet because most of their body is still hidden behind her fur.
How dare you impose gender on this child?
Thank you for that name, Zara. I haven't thought of that movie in a hot minute. Herbert Camacho. something something, and the rest is gone. I can't remember it.
My name is Fayrith. Um, Alita found me last night. She's very warm. Did you know that?
I can't say I did, but I would imagine so with all of that fur. She is quite comfortable, though.
Sorry, I'm just copying down the riddle I had for Alita.
Sure. Were you the source of the faraway yelling we heard last night? And I'll kind of look to Alita.
Yes. Yes, he was. His parents are looking for him. However, I'm headed south. And I think perhaps that if he were to stay with you, you would encounter his parents as they're headed towards Arcala.
We can certainly see what we can do. What is south?
Well, I have business in another continent.
Ooh.
One where they worship and deal with a different variety of deities.
Well, that certainly sounds interesting. It is safe to come down from there.
Here, I'll move over and I'll like hold my hands out for him.
Fayrith kind of wiggles his way through the fur before he drops down into your waiting hands.
Ah,
He is a small little slip of a thing.
tiny baby. If you'd like, you can ride with me tomorrow. I have an elk that you might like.
You have an elk?
Well, it's not that I have an elk, but I do have a friend of a magical sort.
That's so cool. And
Turtle from a
what's
child.
your name?
My name is Sasha.
That's such a nice name.
Thank you. I'll look over to her and I'll kind of give a little nod of my head and I'll just be like, if anything, I'm a man of my word. I'll find the boy's parents.
Thank you for your kindness. Well, I can't stay long. The winds over the ocean are turbulent in the middle of the day, so I would like to try and get over it in the morning. I know he is in good hands with you.
Alita, I meant
Yes.
to ask you the last time I saw you. Have you been to the southeast of the continent by the coast at all lately?
Southeast of the coast.
Yeah, down by the... There used to be a cape down there.
Ah,
For
yes.
the DM's sake.
Thank you.
Yep. I
I
got
was
you.
like, yes. Yes. Did you know that they have erected a small spot of worship to you?
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
You
What
should
have
check it out.
What have
It's
I
very
done?
fascinating.
The
I
only
believe that they
thing...
called you the Thinking Man.
Hmm. Hmm.
Dun, dun,
I'm sorry.
dun.
So one, it's still there then. And two, it's a shrine now? I'm so intrigued.
It's very interesting. I couldn't tell you more. It's been a while since I've been there, so I don't want to tell you something and then have it prove to be wrong. I just know that there is a shrine of some kind there.
I'm gonna look over to Sasha and, like, since I'm sitting, just kind of like pat their like shin.
Like
We
I'm
absolutely must go check
And
it out.
all you hear is like the clink of porcelain on metal.
Ting 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 ting.
that's sad because I'm jacked, so I fit my armor. No, no. I'll just bend down a little bit, so I'm kind of more face level with Orion. Yes.
We absolutely should go check that out on the way. It should be on our way up north once we hit the southern villages and towns. Towns on our way. We should absolutely go check this out. It sounds fascinating.
Well, you do have a curiosity of you. I'm sure with the talk of the rest of the party, and if we have time, then we mayhaps be able to make the stop.
If it helps, it's near a beach.
Near a what?
A beach. The
A
shore.
beach? Oh,
Yes.
you see what I'm wearing, right? Have you ever seen me take this off? No, because I'm weird. No, I'm kidding.
You know, I've only known you for a little bit of time.
Yes. I'm not the beach sort myself, but I'm sure some of the others might be. Fred might enjoy the suns of an open beach, mayhaps.
Well,
I'm sure
it's
maybe
a
Karasef would
beautiful view.
actually relax a little, and Mavic, not Mavic, sorry,
Monric.
Monrig. I'm like sitting here the moment I said it, I was like, I can't fuck.
They
I
both start
can't
with
fuck.
M. You were really close.
It's really close, but I wasn't. But at least one name was correct in a way. Sure, Monrig might like some relaxing time as well.
Oh. It's a good place to think. At least it's a good view. I can bring it up to everybody. Looks back to Alita. A shrine. Just flabbergasted.
She just reaches out with a very gentle paw and gently pats you on the head before she lifts herself up, reaches up, and then in a pair of claws just kind of plucks a small bag out from her fur and then sets it down next to Sasha. It's very clear that this is Faerith's. And then she steps back and with a giant spread of her wings launches herself back up into the air.
What a lovely lady. She's a good one.
Okay. Sasha, Faerith hasn't let go of you since you caught him.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. Would you like me to hold on to your stuff?
He nods
Perfect.
vigorously.
I'll put it with my bag, and we'll just have to remember. Don't let me forget to not give it back, okay? You're in charge
I'll
of that.
remember. I'll remember. I can do that.
Perfect. Are you hungry?
A little bit.
All right. I'm
Also,
sure. Sorry.
sorry. Orion, did you introduce yourself to Faerith?
I did not give a name yet. They didn't ask.
Okay. Faerith is gonna look over at Orion and just kind of lean in to Sasha. What are they made out of?
Why don't you ask them? Their name is Orion.
Oh,
They enjoy telling stories or gaining knowledge, so I'm sure they wouldn't mind telling you. It's never bad to ask a question, only if you think it's an insult.
Faerith looks so worried to ask this question.
Orion,
Mm-hmm.
what are you made of? If you don't mind me asking. Curious minds and all.
Sure. I'm made of porcelain.
Porcelain. That's always a lovely material. Do you like it?
I mean, this is the best form I've had. I'd say I like it quite a bit.
Wait, porcelain? Like a teacup?
But much larger.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that is so cool.
I'll just kind of pull off one of my gloves and hike up the sleeve so they can see my arm and just kind of hold it out.
He kind of reaches out his hand before he remembers that he didn't ask. Am I allowed to touch?
Yeah, go for it.
As he asks that question though, he looks at Sasha like, did I do good for remembering to ask?
Yes. I'll just give a little nod.
And then he reaches out and touches, and of course you feel like porcelain, like you feel like
Yeah.
a teacup, except mobile. And he just looks super happy to
Yeah.
get this opportunity.
I'm
And
a teacup with all of the constellations that are etched in that are slightly underlit.
yeah. And
Which
he is fascinated.
this is also the first time Sasha's seeing this, but yes.
Yes. And then he looks over at Sasha again, and you said something about food? I don't remember the last time I ate something.
And maybe you're a little bit hungrier than you expect. I have some food with me, but I'm sure if we go see our friend Kitchen, who is the best cook I have ever met, I'm sure he may make something, a little something for you.
Oh, okay.
And I'll move over to Kitchen to sort of lightly judge him, thinking he's just asleep as well.
I've been listening the entire time.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you for the nudge, though.
Faerith looks terrified.
No.
Because suddenly this clay being is talking.
This is my friend Kitchen.
There's nothing to be afraid of. I like to cook. I'll cook for you, and then things will be good. Yes, yes. And he gets up, and he starts rummaging through his bags. And I'm thinking, how about a dragon gingerbread man?
Do you know what dragons look like?
Gingerbread ones?
I'm killing Quentin with this freaking child.
Listen, Sasha's anything if good with everyone. Me on the inside, I'm like, whack, kid. Sasha on the inside is like, kid.
I'm gonna lean in and simply say, would you like to see one?
Now I'm like, do I have to protect this child from a dragon? Hold on.
Hold on. What's up, child? Pops off faceplate. It's just empty. What is going on?
My God, you guys are
I'm
gonna
like,
scar
whoa,
this child
we've
if
had
you
this
do
kid
that?
for 5 seconds, and
No,
he's going to be afraid of everything for the rest of his life.
Hey,
No.
kid, you want to see a ginger dead body?
Oh, right, and I am traveling on my own now. It was very nice to meet everyone.
No, but
My journey is now the child. You'll get Calyx back in 3 days.
no,
Wait, you've got a kid. The armor doesn't come off.
I don't have a kid.
I mean,
You do now.
currently have a kid.
Well, we're just friends. I'm babysitting.
Oh, okay. It is the way.
You lost out naming this kid like Gregory or something.
Oh, yeah.
I
But
did.
no,
I'm
Would've been
sorry.
good.
in all seriousness, I lean in and just, would you like to see one? And I can feel Sasha. I can feel the eyes. I look over and, well, of course, not a real one.
Oh, no, real ones are dangerous,
Sometimes.
right? Do
Some
you
of them
know-
are quite
do you
interesting.
know- Really? Like, what kind of dragon isn't dangerous? And for the record, you have captivated this child while Kitchen cooks food.
Lovely. I will. How much of dragons do I know?
You know a bit. You know them more like in their worm form.
Mm-hmm. I know of
mostly
the
because
old ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
They hadn't reached like full ass maturity like what you might experience today.
Mm-hmm.
So you know them more as like worm.
Oh, they couldn't thunderclap yet?
Maybe not.
I'm assuming by
Not
this
enough
point
s-
the rest of us are all awake.
You are starting to wake up, yes, because there is. I mean, he's a kid, so he doesn't really understand the idea of being quiet.
And it's hard to say inside voice in a field.
Outside.
So I will explain to this child at least the colors and the basic alignments, if you will, of some of the colored dragons, and I would like to use some of my marvelous pigments to
Okay.
draw and make him a little scale dragon. I only have red and black, so we will go with red.
Okay.
But
That
it would be a worm versus what they now know as dragons, because that's the last time I
Yeah.
saw one.
Sasha and or Kitchen, you are both welcome to correct Orion, seeing as the information he has about dragons is a little bit outdated.
I'll lean in and sort of like whisper some changes or some updated knowledge, which I'm sure I have. And there's also
Well, that makes sense. They've probably gotten bigger since I last saw them.
oh yes.
I do hope some of them still like to talk. That'd be unfortunate. They are also a collector of knowledge.
Some of them are.
Yes. They all like hordes, but the type of horde differs from dragon to dragon.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what kind of horde would a red dragon have?
Otter's knowledge of this is currently lacking. Does Orion know?
Yes, Orion. Well, Orion would know what a red worm would have, but it would be the same.
Okay. Do I need to roll for history to remember?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Fred hears them talking about dragons.
All of this. Oh, that's a good one. That's a 24.
Okay. You remember that they tend to have hordes with vast riches. They're the kind of dragon that hoards gold and jewels and gems and that kind of deal.
I'm glad you didn't leave it at just riches, because my whole brain went, your name isn't Richard, is it? All of them. Anyone they can find. But no, red dragons, at least last I knew, they love treasure. Anything gold or glittering, gems, mounds of wealth.
Amazing. And then Fred, you approach. Fred, this child was not there when you went to bed.
Sasha, who's your friend?
Oh, good morning. And I turn to the little one. Would you like to introduce yourself?
My name is Fairith.
Oh, very nice to meet you. My name is Fred.
Isn't Fred a boy's name?
It can be.
You just ask people if that's a boy's name. Now that was rude. No, I'm kidding.
This
I
kid
am
has
so
been
glad-
here all of an hour, and Sasha has gone into full parent mode, and I am here for it.
Me too.
So, how did you wind up here by yourself?
Oh, I wasn't alone. Alita brought me.
Alita?
Mm-hmm.
That must have been fun.
It was so awesome. I got to ride on her back, and she was really, really warm.
Mm-hmm. Where are your parents, honey?
I don't know. But Alita said that you guys would be able to help me find them.
Of course. Absolutely.
Alita said we should probably run into them on our way to the town.
I see Kitchen's cooking breakfast.
Won't be much longer. Just making a few extras.
Orion, were you talking about dragons? Is that what I heard?
It would seem my knowledge is a little outdated, but yes, talking about what I knew of dragons. It seems it's been a while since I've encountered one, so the information I have is a little old. Sasha kind of pointed me in the right direction.
I'm looking to meet a dragon soon, hopefully.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah. My mom knew one.
What kind of dragon was he?
He was silver.
Or she? Because I shouldn't. I shouldn't
It's
judge.
okay. It's okay. It was a silver dragon. A very, very powerful sorcerer dragon.
Oh, silver dragon. And then Fairith looks over to Orion. What do silver dragons collect? You need to give me a history check on this because you don't remember a silver worm.
I already rolled for it.
Fantastic.
That's a 12 plus 8 for a dirty 20.
Jesus. Well, you seem to recall that silver dragons hoard history and typically will live amongst those of humanoid descent.
Mm.
So I want to say anything that's bipedal, but they would also like live amongst like centaurs and whatnot. So if it has a sentience, they want to know.
Well, you see, from what I recall, silver dragons are known for their ability to change shapes. They love knowledge. They love to gather it. They love to be near it. Usually you can find them near great centers of knowledge, masquerading as one of those curating it.
Oh, so like a lore keeper?
You could call them that. They collect history, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's really cool. And it does make sense. I mean, you can collect anything, right? I mean, as long as it's a collection.
Mm-hmm. If you have enough of anything, it can be a collection.
This is true. Does that mean my collections of toys make me a dragon? Because I have a hoard of toys? Quentin!
Orion's gonna kind of stare at the child for a couple seconds, processing that, and go, if you take care of them just a little bit.
Oh, I'm always gonna take care of my toys.
If I had eyeballs, they would be going back and forth from Sasha to the child, waiting for, like, a response.
Pulls up my mouth guard a little bit, make sure that I'm like just like behind the kid enough to where if the kid turns, I'm just like but I'm like I am mouthing the words like, if he takes care of them, someday maybe he'll grow up to be one. It's like a little reward.
You're not saying he's going to be a boy toy.
Boy dragon. Difference.
The interesting thing about silver dragons, you never know if you've met one or encountered one before, because usually they're not in their normal form. So, for all you know, you could have already met one.
Do they always have to tell the truth?
I don't believe so.
They're not a cop.
Legitimately, Orion, like, stared off into the distance for a second, like, pondering that statement. Like, I don't believe they have to be honest. Usually they like
Orion.
to blend in. Yes.
Instead of answering these questions, would you like the food? Everything's ready. I made hot cakes with jelly, so maybe we can
Please go eat.
stop the questions.
But what about the dragon gingerbread?
Oh, that's for after.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for cooking food.
We
wait,
have dragon gingerbread?
this is when Monric wakes up. He hears
I made enough for
dragon
everyone.
gingerbread and he's like, "What?"
I've made enough for everyone. It's fine.
Sits up straight
Come
from
and eat.
sleeping. Did somebody say gingerbread?
Laying flat on the ground and just up like a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for food. Where'd the kid
Karisef
come
definitely
from?
wakes up to the smell of the food too.
I'm here for food. Where did the child come from?
Whose kid is this? Give me some hotcakes.
Yep,
Oh
exactly.
my god. I love everything about this. Zara, how
Yes.
does Karisef react to a strange child that the rest of the party seems to be absolutely a-okay with?
If the party's fine with them being there, Karisef's not gonna really push it.
Okay?
Just, all right, this is a new party member. Got it.
Give him a sword.
Tiny
let's
child.
go.
Here's your badge and
Here's
your
your
knife.
badge. Yeah. Here's your badge, your idea that says you're allowed to murder. And a sword.
Do not give a child the license to kill. What is wrong with you?
Hey. He might
Wait,
never
you
use
got
it.
a license
You
for
see,
that?
it on the back in really small print, it says only in protection of your horde.
Oh,
Fantastic.
love that. Okay, sorry. You guys, have you break your fast and, prepare to set out for the day. You said that you were going to have him ride with you, yes, Quentin?
With me? Yes. I
Okay.
will very gladly cast the spell, Find Steed. That is
And
A-okay.
then, yeah, and now you have an elk again.
Yeah. His name is Lapa.
It,
He's just a large elk.
his name is Lapa.
Lapa. L-A-P-A.
Okay.
I have it in my notes.
Yep.
It's there. I will do like that fun little introduction where I hold him up so that like Lapa can like go close and like sniff at his face and like blow some hot
Yep.
breath so his hair flutters or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Kid shit.
Yeah, that's
Um,
pretty much exactly what happens.
Beautiful. And then I'll put him up and then I'll get on myself. So he's sitting in front of me.
Okay.
I have a quick question.
I have a quick answer.
How much of my red ink did it take to make this child a very outdated figurine of a dragon? I
Remind
figure
me how
I
much the
sat.
Marvelous. Yeah,
It's
remind me how much of the
by
Marvelous
square
pigments
foot.
you have. No, you used less than a square foot. Like, you didn't make a very big one because I mean,
No, it's like
he's a child.
yeah.
Yeah, that's like less than a square foot of. You know what? Let's call it a singular square foot just to make it easier for tracking.
Okay. But yes, I will inform them with my current knowledge that this was known as a worm. This is what a dragon looks like when it's young.
Oh, that is so cool.
And then I will leave them to Sasha's care. I figure I did the figurine while everyone was eating.
He does offer food to both Kitchen and Orion because he is a good child.
Kitchen to take it, and the moment he's not looking, just throw it over his shoulder.
No. The moment he's not looking, it goes onto Sasha's plate.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Trick shot.
Just
I'm like, I take a bite and I'm watching the child and then I turn and the bite's back on my plate like
Poor Sasha's gonna wind up having like weird weird moments where they're just like, oh my god, am I
Yes.
magical? Is there just food constantly appearing on my plate?
Listen, am I following the wrong god right now? Could my god be giving me food?
honestly,
Praise me!
honestly, Orion probably would have told the child that I don't require food, but thank you. I know Sasha would love the extra though. You see,
Wait.
the mouth doesn't open.
But how do you... Wait, can I ask that question? And he looks up at Sasha
I don't know what the
and then
question
just
is.
kind of like waits for you to lean down so he can whisper it in your ear. Can I ask why they can't eat? Or is that rude?
I
like-
lean back and I look at Orion like, I mean, I'll lean down and he's always given my food and I've never asked why, so I'm not sure. I haven't seen him eat before at all.
Can I ask?
Sure.
Mr. Orion, sir? Why don't you eat? How do you have energy if you don't eat? Mommy says that you always have to eat so you can get big and strong. I don't understand.
I'm gonna ponder this for a second.
He did all his eating a long time ago.
The easy explanation for the child.
My stomach hit max capacity about 17 years ago. That can happen if you eat too much in one day. So don't ever rush through your food.
Trying to word this.
What
for
lies?
Hey, he's a kid, he'll learn.
Trying to word this for a child. The mouth doesn't open, so I've had to learn to eat other things to give me strength.
He's a vampire.
Oh, okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Kitchen leans into Orion and's like, is that how that works? Because I have no idea.
It works for me.
Okay. Is it something? Am I the same?
Possibly.
I just never thought of it.
Yeah, we should delve into this another time. This could be an interesting conversation.
Yes, absolutely. We should find a doctor.
I,
The child has opened the question of why do the Warforged not eat?
you see,
Do you
Kitchen,
breathe? Because I don't think I need to.
I'm not sure. I could be very good at holding my breath, though. I don't know how that works.
Oh my god.
I always thought that, but then, I never get winded. I don't.
The
We
child has broken the Warforged.
we should have a good talk soon. But
yeah.
Doctor probably not. That was a weird time back in Quo. Would not recommend. They were very confused.
As am I. Okay. I'm going to do the dishes.
I sustain myself with other things than food. For me, I love knowledge. You could also call me a collector of knowledge.
Wait, so you're like a silver dragon?
Kind of. I promise I'm not a dragon, though.
If
Something
you
tells
say
me they
so.
would be bored with a porcelain body. They like to mimic the more common races.
Okay.
I'll kind of lean in. If I was, I'd show you, though. But I'm not.
Okay. And then at this point, you guys load up to head out.
Yep.
I need a perception check from whoever is leading the party.
I'm
Karisai is not leading
pondering.
the party. After listening to this conversation, he's curious why the child is here.
I'll say
14.
I'm now pondering questions about myself in kitchen that this child decided to bring forward, and I'm just kind of like in the middle of the pack, just.
I'm about the same.
Okay.
14.
Having a real existential crisis here.
I am so sorry this child is giving you an existential crisis.
No, I'm here for it. They brought up good
Do I
questions.
blink? Do I blink? Do I have eyelids?
Jesus.
You do when you.
You have a soul.
I hope.
I mean, with the way Kitchen cooks, he cooks with soul. Come on now.
Oh,
So it is soul
that's
food.
very kind
That was
of you.
out of character. That was
Ooh.
not Fred.
No, say that in character. Come on.
No, because Fred's always going to believe everyone has a good soul. She wouldn't question that.
I have two. They're built into my feet.
This is technically true.
Yep.
Okay. As you proceed, Monric. Sir.
Yes.
Your perception check. You hear in the distance, it sounds like a small caravan headed your way. So you're hearing like over the sounds of your own party's jingle of horses, you are hearing a jingle of horses. It sounds like a cart being pulled. And then as you're approaching, it's about midday. You don't you stop to rest the horses and whatnot, but for the most part, you don't really stop. And you come across a caravan. And this caravan seems to have one of its lead wagons with a broken wheel.
Oh. Well, we can
And
help.
I will need a perception check from the party, please.
Perception?
Yes, please.
18.
22.
19.
15.
I'm lost in thought for kitchen's sake. That is a 6.
Okay. Kitchen, Karasef, Fred, and Sasha. The four of you notice that despite the caravan having been stopped, there is quite a few family units. And you notice that many of them seem to be missing limbs or having replacements. So, as in, like, they have prosthetics.
Are prosthetics rare in this world?
To the quality that these are, yes.
Okay.
Are they actually mobile limbs?
Yes. Yep.
Nope. I don't notice. I'm oblivious. I'm not asking
You
that
don't
question.
notice this. Not yet. You will notice. You will have your chance to ask your questions, Otter. I promise.
Oh no,
Uh,
I had a technical question about past things we've done, but I haven't seen them yet to ask it.
Okay. Sasha, you said you had a 19?
22.
22. All right, perfect. Sasha, in the distance, with your special ears, because of what you are,
Special ears.
you hear Fayrith being called out in the woods. It's really faint. And then you hear somebody trudging through the underbrush on their way back to the caravan. The caravan seems to be sort of in disarray, unsure as to how they're going to fix this cart. It sounds like this wheel has been a very particular problem, and they don't have the materials to fix it as you approach. There is 3 family units in a heated argument over how to fix this cart.
Well, hello there. Need some help?
A particular member of this caravan approaches, leaving the 3 families to argue. It is a a tiefling gentleman who is missing his left hand, the hand only. And it seems as though he is also missing his right leg from the knee down. We're not in your way, are we? I hope that we can perhaps move things out of the way if you need to get by.
No, no, that's not it at all. You look like you're in distress.
We're the wagon wheel broke again.
Where are you coming from?
Trevor Craig.
Yeah.
Well, we can help you fix that.
Can you?
Sure. Let me get my tools. And I'll pull out my smithing tools and head over to the wagon wheel.
While Monric is going over to assist, this tiefling gentleman introduces himself as Sarzan. Sarzan.
Well, hello. Oh,
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just.
oh. Well, hello, Sarzan. My name is Kitchen. What's happened here?
He did just explain that.
Oh my God, did I just completely
You
miss it?
zoned out.
I did.
He mentioned that the
Oh,
wheel is broken.
in my head I was just like, yeah, okay. I was reading the Channel Divinity Artisan's Blessing because I was like, oh, I could whip up a wheel.
No, I love that you were trying to like prep ahead, but it's
Yeah.
just like
Yep. Okay. What are you all doing out here?
we're actually immigrating to Arcala.
Oh, well then I think you'll have a good time. They're very nice people.
We're hoping so. Things have been difficult.
You've come from Traver Craig,
Yes.
and anything we should know? We're heading there ourselves.
I'm not sure that anything I tell you would be helpful. We have it's a mining town. They're set up in the mountains the way they are for a reason. So many of us work in the mines, but you'll notice as you get closer to the city, there's also sprawling fields. With the rain that comes off the mountains, they have a very particular way to grow their grapes and have a very lucrative wine industry as well.
Oh, wonderful.
However, what we're lacking in is healers, and many in this caravan are sick. Not the contagious kind of sick, but the kind of sick that needs intensive care that we can't get in town.
Well, I could try and lend a hand. I tend to most of my friends here.
If you
We
would
may
be
be able
so
to.
kind, what can we offer you in return?
Um, just any information about the town that you can think of besides what you've already said.
Well, that seems strange.
Well,
That seems like such a low price for such a high service.
well, I like to be helpful and I just like to know what's happening. There's no tricks. I just want to help.
Huh.
But then it
Give
also
me
sounds
the entire party that's standing there listening to this can give me an insight check.
18.
9.
21.
Also an
Orion
18.
and okay.
23.
Okay. Everybody but Karasef, I'm so sorry, dear. I don't know what's going on with your dice tonight. Everybody but Karasef, you're getting the feeling that offering to do things out of the good of your heart might be a bad idea where you're going. So much so that they seem to be conditioned to believe that everything has a price.
Okay. Well, I can tell you're uncomfortable. I'm still offering my services for whatever you seem or whatever you deem fit in return.
I think we might have. Yes, I think within the caravan we could get together 20 gold pieces for you.
Excellent. Let's do it.
He holds his hand out for you to shake to
Okay.
seal the deal.
Yeah, let's do it.
And he shakes with his flesh hand.
I shake with my not flesh hand.
You don't have a choice. And he sorry.
Wait,
Uh
it's not flesh?
Karasef, dear, please give me one more perception check because everybody's so focusing on this conversation and Jesus, give it to me at advantage please cuz you're on watch.
You can do it!
Okay.
Hey!
You watch as a couple come crashing through the underbrush looking entirely frantic.
They seem a bit distraught.
Another family unit approaches them and just the sheer look of sadness on the two that came through the underbrush. They are looking for somebody.
Would Fred notice this?
No, Fred is focused on the conversation with Sarzar.
You know what?
Tarzan.
Who am I standing near? Am I standing near anybody from the
Uh,
party at this point?
let's
Because I was paying attention to the conversation at one point, but
yeah.
after my insight checked out, I probably drifted
We'll say
off.
that you're standing next to Orion.
Sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of elbow Orion and point in that direction and be like, "What do you think they're looking for? Seems odd amidst all of this."
Is Sasha holding the child or like holding hand of
Yes.
child?
No, Sasha, you guys are all still technically mounted on your
Oh.
horses.
Oh.
Except for Monric, who dismounted off of his horse to get his gear and go help fix the wheel.
Well, please forgive me. My brain seems to have scattered. Orion would remember. What was the child's name one more time? Fayrith?
Yes.
Ah. I'll look over to Karasef.
The couple is a pair of elves, by the way, just for clarification.
I wonder if those are the parents of Fayrith, the one we're in care of.
Our new traveling companion.
Yes. He was brought to us in the night by a friend. We know his parents are looking for him. Sasha?
Yes.
And I'll just kind of nod my head over in the direction of the frantic parents. I think that might be who we're looking for.
Oh. I'll like like nudge at Ferrith a little bit, and I'll like lean down and so I can speak into his like ear, and then I'll point over his shoulder. Would that happen to be your parents?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I'm just gonna take him to his parents. Ready?
Yes.
And I'll turn Lapa and go towards the group.
Okay. As you approach, the pair of elves happen to glance back and see you approaching, and then see, in front of you on the elk is their child.
Hi. I think I found who you're looking for.
And sudden panic. No.
The
I
the
am very big.
the mother looks absolutely frantic as she runs towards the elk, but then like slides to a stop about 5 feet from it because she doesn't need to startle the elk into throwing her son off.
Um, believe me, he's much better than you think. Um, I'm Sasha. A friend found your boy in the night, and we were interested to help bring him back to you.
Of course, my name is Shilara, and this is my husband, Castian. Thank you so much for finding our son.
Of course.
And she holds her hands up for Faerith.
And I'll
Um,
help him down into her
well,
hold.
before he does that, he turns around to you and kind of like gets up as much as he can
I'll
and
like help balance him.
gives you a great big hug, like kids do,
Yeah.
right? And then he lets you, you know,
Help him
give him
down.
to his mother. Yeah.
Yep.
Who he hugs with, absolute joy. um And then, she does start scolding him a bit because, you shouldn't wander off. It's really dangerous. We were so worried. What would have happened if you hadn't been found by that friend of theirs? What were you thinking? Wow, this sounds super familiar, Mom. Um. Anyway, so you
I just
return.
can't wait for this child to tell his parents the details of their last 12 hours and them to look at them like they're crazy. I wrote a sphinx, and then this porcelain guy told me about dragons and if they don't eat, and his friend is made of like clay, and they're sustained off of other things than food.
Oh no! Don't
And
see.
I
Here's
might
the
be a
thing.
dragon. I have a
Yeah,
horde.
this is just it. Because as soon as his mother has stopped scolding him, his father asks what the heck he had gotten up to in the last 24 hours, and then the story starts. And the parents are looking at you guys semi-horrified.
We fed him. Okay then.
It was an
They
excellent
do
traveling companion.
they do appreciate that you fed him though. And so once he was with you, then he stayed with you. He didn't wander off again.
No,
No?
our friend dropped him off to us, and then she had other places to be, so she flew south, and they've been with us since.
Okay. And you're made out of teacup material?
I prefer porcelain.
Ah, yes, you're made out of porcelain. And you're made out of clay. As
Please don't remind me.
I'm so sorry. Um, and you're a well, I don't even know if my mom's here right now. She's
I'm here.
muted? Oh,
I'm
okay.
here.
And you're a Tandrak, are you not?
Yes, I am, ma'am.
Huh. And your big two armored friends there,
Hmm.
I am surprised he felt as comfortable with you as he did.
A little bit of kindness can go a long way.
Good food and good
Yes.
conversation definitely go a long way.
Please, you must allow us to feed you for the evening. It's going to take them the rest of the day to fix that wagon wheel. I'm sure you have other places to be, but these families can never agree on anything.
I
Well,
won't say no
we
to food.
are on our way to Traver Craig.
I'm sure Sarzan has been giving you a detailed accounting of what's been happening.
Oh, no. Oh,
But
speaking of Sarzan,
yes. Sasha,
does...
sorry,
Oh, go ahead.
just let me get this out real quick. Castian doesn't have a prosthetic, but it looks more like he was choosing not to wear it in case it got lost.
Okay.
He is missing his right arm. And she is walking around with the assistance of crutches. It seems like her left leg prosthetic is broken.
Oh.
I can fix it.
Sorry, Otter, go ahead.
Oh, seeing all of these intricately made prosthetics, do any of them bear the mark of a certain caravan we crossed paths with before?
No, they don't.
Okay. That's the only other
Uh,
intricate tinkering we've seen on that
Yes.
level.
And even this is more advanced than that. A lot of their stuff was clockwork, and it was kind of like one of those, it winds up to work.
Mhm.
These particular prosthetics move and function like actual limbs and appendages.
Okay.
However, what it is about them is that there doesn't seem to be a power source. Like, it's not something that you would have to wind up at the beginning of the day every time. This just seems to function.
Curious.
Yes.
Not to be rude, but what has happened with everybody?
Let
You
us
all
tell
seem
you
to be
after we get the children to sleep.
okay.
This is something that we don't shy away from what it is, but we want them to maintain their innocence for as long as we can.
Oh, yes, understand, 100%.
So, yeah. uh, please feel free to look around. Although stay out of people's caravans, of course. At this point, Sarzan does call out to the caravan to make themselves like basically set up for camp for the night. Monric, you are brought any tools or any help that you might need to fix the wagon wheel. Kitchen, you're attending to those who are a little bit on the sick side. And I'm going to need you to roll me a medicine check, please, sir.
I'll
Okay.
also help him if I can.
Yes, of course.
27.
Hot damn.
I was gonna say, I don't have any way to assist, but I do have some medical training.
I am he who brings the healing.
I can assist
Cookies?
with the medical stuff.
If somebody asks if they should give me something, I'll just be like, give it to
Sure.
Kitchen.
Between Karasef, Sasha, and Kitchen, you guys are able to at least diagnose everybody and help those that you can help tonight and ease the pain of the others. Either through herbal remedies, the appropriate application of medicine and narcotics, and of course, asking if they have any sort of allergies beforehand. Every adult in this caravan is missing something. All of them. And they seem, in general, to be fairly kind-hearted people. It's a varying difference of personalities, but they all seem to be kind at the heart of it. And that seems to be a problem. Once dinner has been made by the caravan and served to those who wish to eat. I'm sorry, Zara, I just saw what you wrote, the last thing you wrote in Twitch chat. Don't ask questions that are rude. Once all of the meals, like the meal has been distributed and the youngest kids are put to bed, the older ones, we're talking like teenagers, are still up, but they know the reality of where you guys are going. And all of the kindness is still there, but any sort of levity that they have been able to obtain throughout the day is gone. And the reality of the fact that they are running away from the only home that they've known settles back in. And it is almost an instantaneous change. Sarzan sits around a fire, has invited you all to join him, and 2 other family unit pairs are sitting with him as well. One family unit pair is a pair of female humans, and the other is the pair of elves that you met earlier. A a woman who looks fairly human until the firelight reflects off of familiar features sits herself down next to Sarzan. This is another spider folk.
Oh,
And because I know it's coming, hold on.
getting that name prepped, huh?
Damn right!
A woman
I know
spider.
you fuckers.
She spider?
Spider woman.
Do not.
Oh, is she a Black Widow?
Oh my god, no.
Oh, she knows kung fu.
Jesus Christ. So, you wanted to know about... No, she's all brown. And,
Woodsman.
Like a wolf spider?
no. Brown recluse.
Gotcha.
So she's shy.
Yeah. That is, and it's true. It's true. I mean, she sits next to Sarzan, but she doesn't say anything to you guys. And anytime that somebody puts attention on her, she kind of like hides behind his shoulder a little bit. She seems to be the one that seems to be the least affected by whatever it is that they're about to tell you. However, you hear what sounds to be the grinding of wood against wood. Almost as if whatever she has for prosthetics is also broken.
See, me, I was just picturing like prosthetic legs sitting down on a log. I... Okay.
Maybe. You're not sure, because you can't see what her prosthetic is. Sarzin clears his throat and kind of shifts his shoulders back to sit up straighter. Trevor Craig was a prosperous city for many years. I recognize your armor. I believe you said your name was Sasha.
Yes.
Your brother has made quite a name for himself.
Not surprising. He's a hard worker.
Yes, but I think you will be more surprised by the fact that he makes prosthetics almost exclusively now.
It's odd.
Well, you won't think it's so odd once I tell you what's happened. We're not sure how it happened. We're not sure when it started. But anybody not charging for a service or not getting something in compensation, anybody doing something just out of the kindness of their heart, would either disappear or they would disappear temporarily and come back missing pieces of themselves. He lifts his left hand and then kind of flexes his right foot. They caught me twice before I realized what I needed to stop doing.
Day.
That's monstrous.
We're not sure. They're these horned creatures that prowl the streets, dressed either in teal or in burgundy, but they're not the knights, they're not the guards, and they're certainly not the knight lieutenants. They seem to be different. Deadly. I'm not sure if it's a transgression system, if it's you help a lady across the busy street and they see you do it, there's no exchange, and then they just take your finger. I haven't been able to work out what the system is. But everybody has learned to charge and expect something in return for what they do. And not in the way that I have completed a task that has been asked of me in a contract and therefore I must be paid for the work that I have done. No. Something as simple as saying something as simple as say feeding somebody. That person is expected to pay you.
And you're not sure when this started?
At first, it just seemed to be that it was just one or two. We thought perhaps that we were just having more mining accidents.
How many of these horned creatures have you seen?
It's hard to say. It's a fairly large town. And it's hard to differentiate if I've seen the same one 17 times or if I've seen 17 different ones. They all rather look the same. The two ladies there. And he gestures to the two human women. One lifts her hand and waves. And you watch as she opens her mouth, however, she is missing her tongue.
Oh my God.
And her partner also waves, however, is only waving a stump on both hands. This is Melody, and my name is Sylvie. They took her tongue for speaking out against the Knight Lieutenants. And they took my hands for being so bold as to weave cloth for those who were cold.
This is horrifying. And the Knight Lieutenant here has done nothing about this?
No. These horned creatures walk around in their colors. And now that they've firmly entrenched themselves, there's nothing we can do. That's when you notice. Give me a perception check, party, please.
Okay, 7.
Kitchen is completely horrified and enraptured by
I
the
blew my
conversation that's
good roll
happening.
load.
Kariseth is definitely focused on the story.
17.
Fred's just horrified.
You can almost see steam coming out of him.
Say 21.
You said you had a 19, Q?
17.
17. Monarch, Orion, and Sasha, the three of you notice the elves look a little bit, not shifty, but like they may know a little bit more. But not something to be said in the company of their caravan leader. I'm not sure what you're traveling to Craig for. But no, if you're going to ask the Knight Lieutenants for anything, you better either have a service prepped for them and payment to exchange, or have the money. And their cost is expensive. Speaking of money, at this point, the spider folk sitting next to him pulls out a small pouch. And you watch as she reaches over with her hand, and she seems to be missing 2 of her fingers on a 5-finger hand, and she taps out with 2 of her fingers 8 times, no, 8 times, and then once with a single finger. I'm sorry, but we were only able to get 17 gold pieces together. Is that all right?
Will that cause anything? Nothing.
That is too much.
Not for everything that you've done for us today. The repairs you've done to some of our poorer caravan member prosthetics, the wheel, the healing. I wish we could give more, but this is what we have.
We can't take everything you have.
The
That's
information
not
you have
right.
given us is much more important.
And you've fed us. We're not in Travis Craig.
I want to be clear. If we turn it down, are we about to lose a limb? Or is that
cause you
just
to?
in Travis Craig? Just want to be clear.
We're not sure. We're not sure how they ever found out about people doing good deeds and being good people.
Well, you
Hey.
see, I think there's a easy way to navigate this situation. You paid us 17 gold for our services here at the caravan. And in return for the dinner and the information for us leading into Trevor Craig, we paid you back 17 gold. Therefore, 2 exchanges happened, and all is well.
For a
Ryan,
moment,
you have great ideas.
everybody from the caravan that's sitting in this circle with you guys looks shocked. The spider folk actually gets up to her feet. And this is where you're hearing the grinding of wood on wood again. And she kind of staggers her way towards you, Orion.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, you know a little bit of the language of the spider folks, thanks to the young man
hold
you
on.
met before.
Hold on. I know two phrases. Where is it? Ah, good morning in Arceus?
Arachnus.
Casus? Arachnus. I missed an R. Roughly translates to Purple Dragon Breakfast Bread 17.
Right.
To quote the DM.
Right. At first they try and speak to you in Arachnus, and when they realize that you're not understanding what they're saying, they switch to, oh my god, remind me what languages you know.
Oh, if it would help you to speak in your common tongue, I can absolutely understand. I would just need a few minutes.
No, I just need to remember what languages you speak.
Common, Elvish, and Primordial, along with Infernal, if I remember it.
Okay. The strangest sound comes out of the mandible bracketed mouth of this spider folk. You have not heard Primordial in so long.
Oh my god, speak rock to me.
But she inquires if she could hug you.
Would that require a monetary exchange as well?
She shakes her head.
Sure.
She envelopes you in a hug, and you feel what feels like the like somebody missing their arms from the elbows down as another set of arms that tries to hold you tight. As she hugs you in thanks for your idea and the fact that that would then allow them to keep what small amount of money they have for when they get to Arcala.
Can I attempt during this hug to just kind of wave my hand over the prosthetics and cast mending on it to see if that would help the situation?
As you do so, the grinding of wood against wood stops, but without actually seeing what you're trying to fix, you can't do more than that.
Okay.
And then she steps back and kind of staggers her way, almost as if her prosthetics aren't the same size, back over to Sarzan and settles back in beside him.
Before you go, dear, I think I can help you with your prosthetic. It seems to be grinding a little. But I do believe an exchange would be needed for that. I have just the thing. This is all still in Primordial because I am just so ecstatic to be able to use an old tongue again, and I'm loving it. I met another one of your kind in a previous city, but they were very shy. If you could impart me with some knowledge, I would be happy to see what I could do to fix your prosthetics.
She looks a little guarded for a minute before she looks at Sarzan, who just kind of gives a shrug and
Does
also
Sarzan
replies
also
in,
speak this language?
He does, and he also speaks in Primordial, basically stating it is her choice, but if she doesn't feel comfortable, like, being alone with somebody she doesn't know, he is more than happy to be there for her.
Oh, it wouldn't have to be in private. I could do it right here.
she shakes her head. No. This would have to, like, you're thinking it's because of she probably has the most amount of prosthetics out of everybody in this caravan.
Okay. If that's what makes you comfortable.
And then she replies to you in Primordial that yes, she would be happy to answer your questions in return to give you knowledge for fixing her prosthetics.
A fair trade.
However, she does kind of like motion that it would have to be later, kind of after everybody's visiting time is kind of over.
Sure. I will simply then ask. I will ask my question now, and if you're not comfortable with answering it, we can come up with a different way we can exchange to help you. I'm aware that your kind can produce web. How does one do so? Is it like from the hands?
You're really stuck on this question.
Orion is very stuck on this question. I have it in
Uh-huh.
bold highlighted in their book. And it next to it literally says, "Will ask if I find another one."
Yep.
Because for Orion, this is valuable information.
She kind of tilts her head for a moment before she holds up her wrist, and she tells you that some of them will come from the wrist. Some spider folk actually do have spider abdomens, and that is where the spider silk is stored. She informs you that hers, specifically hers, it was a, genetic mutation from, it's how the genetics wound up. She actually opens her mandibles, and there is actually two small holes just underneath her bottom row of teeth. And then she kind of like holds her hands in front of it, and a small stream of webs are in her hands. Hers comes from her mouth.
Fascinating. I am flipped back to my page with all the notes from our previous friend and filling in blanks of missing information. And no, that incredibly helpful. I'd be happy to help you any way I can. And then I will leave us to the rest of the evening and get to that later.
Yes. Party. Any other questions for these group before Faerith's parents tell you the little tidbit that they need to tell you?
No, Karasev's looking forward to the tidbit. He's being pretty quiet during all this.
It's just horrified.
Okay. Oh god. Sylvie and Melody bid you both good night. The one that was mute kind of signs it since they can't speak. However, none of you know ASL, but it is translated by her partner. And they bid you good night. Sarzan and Kashi, which is what the spider folk has introduced herself as, both inform Orion that he would be able to come visit them first thing in the morning to repair the prosthetic. However, it is late, and they have been on the road for quite a bit that day. And then, as the caravan is quieting down and the world around you slowly descends into night, you are left with Faerith's parents. And Castian looks at all of you very carefully before he glances at his wife, gives an arched eyebrow like, "Are you sure we should tell them this?" Before she gives him a nod. He clears his throat and makes sure you're all within range to hear it, and speaks very quietly so as to not be overheard. You're going to want to find the underground element in Travercraig. Normally, I would never, ever tell somebody to go find the ambassadors of night. However, the leader there, the one who is in charge of Travercraig and running the underground, has no love for the Knight Lieutenants and their particular brand of ruling. After all, if there aren't schmucks to be conned, what's the point? Find the underground element and enlist their help. They may have more information. You'll be looking for a group of bird-masked people. I can't tell you which bird it is. It depends on who you find. Although, the chances of you finding the white owl mask are very low. He'll be the one you're brought to meet. Be careful who you talk to in there. Sometimes the walls have ears. And the shadows have eyes.
You mean literally?
Sometimes, yes. And we can't thank you enough for bringing Faerith back. Here. Castian stands up, and you'll notice that he now has his arm prosthetic on. And you watch as he reaches over to it, presses a few of the panels, and it slides open to reveal a compartment where he pulls a small seal. Not a small seal. Yeah, no, a small seal. But it's a seal ring, like a signet ring, from in his arm. And he holds it out to Sasha. If you were to show one of the bird-masked individuals this, it will get you entrance.
Okay.
You all don't seem the type to normally deal with this particular brand of people. But if you want any hope of getting something done in that town or getting out alive, you're not going to have a choice. And they're your safest option. The signet ring is that of a owl in flight with a pair of crossed swords underneath. It is not any family ring any of you have ever seen before. You don't even get to real history on it. I know for a fact none of you have seen it because none of you have backgrounds to deal with the underground. Not anymore.
I wasn't even gonna ask. This is after my time and before I've been back.
Both
Versus Calyx. Kidding.
both Castian and Shilara ask if they can give you a hug, Sasha.
Sure.
And they say that since they can't hug the Sphinx, who is hopefully on the other continent already, that you will just have to do for bringing their son back to them safely.
I'd like stand up for the hug and everything.
Oh God, you are so much taller than them too. I mean,
Exactly.
she's 5'0".
This is
That's
why
the
my 6'9"
point.
ass.
Yeah,
That's the entire point.
but you are hugged very closely. Oh my God, Quentin, I keep seeing you yawning and it's getting me every time.
I'm
I
sorry.
keep fucking seeing you yawn. It gets me. God damn it.
I'm sorry.
Which means Quentin's getting it from you.
I've had a very long day. I'm actually I'm hitting that low point and I apologize.
Yo, no, my dude, I'm in the same fucking boat. Up at 6 a.m. is awful. Oh man. Anyway,
Her name is
they
Alita.
Alita. If we encounter a Sphinx named Alita, we will be sure to ask if we can give them a hug.
She's very
Thank you
fluffy.
all for protecting our son. I'm sure he's going to be telling stories about all of you for a very long time. Especially the porcelain man who made him a dragon. And they all kind of move around. They of course inquire first if you are not comfortable with them laying their hands on you in a gesture of thanks. They merely give you a bow instead, but they do inquire first if you are comfortable with it before they too depart for their caravan and their beds. As you set up for the night, the caravan has watches in place. So you can either rely on their watches and settle into Tiny Hut, or you can settle into Tiny Hut and run your own watches instead.
They
I'll
certainly
always
seem
run
like
my
the
watch.
cautious people. I'm good with sleeping through the night for once.
Okay.
I don't need to sleep the full night, so I'll take all the sleep I can get.
I'm gonna
And
stay up
Kitten and
for a
Orion
bit.
just don't.
I mean, we sleep,
Uh-huh.
but I'm gonna sit and ponder for a while on the
Sure.
information we got.
The party settles in for the night, relying on the caravan's ability to protect them. When morning rolls around, Otter, you are approached by Sarzan
Mhm.
and led to his particular caravan. Inside, sitting up on the bed, is Chashi, and she has just kind of a basic slip on, and you see the leg prosthetics are in bad shape. She is missing an entire set of arms from the elbows down. But she does have the prosthetics there. They just seem to have been broken off in the travels.
Mhm.
But there are cracks and breaks in them. These are not as well designed as the others. It is clear that the others were kind of, for the most part, all made by the same mold. Where these ones may have been somebody's first attempt. This
Sure.
might be a little bit beyond your ability to fix entirely.
I will do my best to cast and recast mending until I can fix everything I can. And, small talk in primordial, simply, and stating, it's really good to use the old tongue. It's been ages. How did you come across this language? It's not a common one.
She informs you that she is actually a historian and had learned it on her own from books in the library.
That would explain the accent.
It is not. And there are points where she sometimes says the wrong word in primordial,
Mhm.
and it's like trips you up for just a second before your brain supplies the right word. So it is just the fault of self-teaching. So it's not like she had a formal teacher.
Sure.
But the pronunciation, for the most part, is spot on. Like, she's learned it fairly well. It's just that the pronunciation of some words makes them sound like others.
Learning to speak rock and wind from pen and paper has got to be an interesting experience.
It was a very interesting one. The libraries in Silver Summit are fantastical. I almost wish I hadn't left. But if I hadn't left, then I wouldn't have met Sarzan. And no matter what has happened here, and she kind of like waves the prosthetics, I don't regret a single moment of it. Your mending puts the prosthetics together again, but does not make them function.
Sure.
So, particularly her arms, like she can't move the fingers or the hands without moving them herself with the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But the legs have stopped grinding together, but her mobility is not up to where some of the others are.
But it's
As
at
you're
least
mending,
usable.
yes, she's
Yeah.
at least going to be able to move around now. Probably with the help of crutches, but she'll at least be able to move around now. Through your mending, you realize that each prosthetic is linked directly to the limb that it's meant to replace. And it seems as though there's a magical connection directly to the creature's own soul, which is helping power it and move them. At least that's your working theory currently, because there's no other way these things would work because they're not clockwork.
So my working theory is they're somehow powered by the being they're attached to.
Yes.
Okay.
Fuck, I'm trying to think. Did you watch the very first Doctor Strange movie?
No.
Okay. They
The last
basically
Marvel
explain it.
movie I saw was before Black Panther.
Okay. So they basically trick the mind into thinking that the limb is still there.
Okay.
So whatever is in the prosthetics that is powering it is tricking the mind into believing that the prosthetic is actually their limb.
Cool.
And it is directly connected to that person. So if you were to take Tushy's prosthetic off and give it to, say, Castian, it wouldn't work because it's not linked to Castian.
I have another reference that could be good for it. Did you ever read Kyoko Hitman Reborn or Hitman Reborn? It's an anime. No, there's a character in there that is missing some organs. Mukuro and Chrome. she's missing her organs, and because of what Mokro can do, he implants in her that you have those, and her body believes it.
And
so
her
she
body
lives.
believes that she has the organs needed to actually function.
Okay.
So it's tricking the mind with an illusion. They know they're prosthetics, but you can trick the mind into believing that something is there.
Understood.
Okay.
You must have a spectacularly good soul, judging by the conversation we had last night and our current situation.
Yes. It is, It is because I would teach people for free. And sharing my knowledge was what turned me into this.
That is good information to have. I just need to not talk in this town.
You will want to be very careful, or rely on your companions to, run your business, as it were. Do you understand?
Kind of.
Perhaps
Can a shrine be a business?
I suppose, although I think it would fall potentially under religious immunity and exemption. Although I suppose it depends on what shrine. Is it a shrine to a god?
Apparently to the thinking man.
Oh, the thinking man. Yes.
Have you seen it?
I've journeyed there, but in my youth. It is a lovely spot to sit and contemplate one's journeys.
I sure
Quiet.
thought so.
Wait. Are you the thinking man?
Do you know the Muffin Man? I am a man. I don't know. I don't think I'm a man. I'm a being who thinks. And once I had a good rock on the shore that was a lovely place to ponder.
Well, if you have the time, you should check it out. But we shouldn't keep you any longer. We've got another day's journey and we should reach Arkala. And if you're headed to Travercraig, be careful.
If you are heading to Arkala, interesting people will be coming through town in a matter of time that Otter is not remembering properly, but Orion does.
Week now, I think.
About a week.
Just roughly a week. Because I think that timing wise, it'll wind up being like 5 days.
Yeah, in about a week, a large number of people will be coming through Arkala. Be kind and don't cause any trouble, which I don't think you will.
Not
and there
this
shouldn't
group.
be any issues.
We're gonna be lucky if we can get through Arkala without losing all of our money.
You know, you should talk with... Let me scroll back up just a wee bit here. Beep boop, boop doop boop. What was the name of the tavern owner? Boop 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 boop.
Amy.
Jamie Cottonbee, you should look for a Morning Blossom Inn and Tavern. There's a lovely fellow there by the name of Jamie. They may be able to help find something for you guys to do in town.
We will be sure to stop in with him first. Thank you.
Yes. If you mention the general look of our group, they should know exactly who we are.
We will be sure to do so. Thank you for your kindness. And remember, normally they say, don't hide your kindness behind anything. Hide it behind something as thick as you possibly can.
Well, you see, this was yet another lovely exchange. You gave me further information, and I returned it in kind.
She just inclines her head,
Mhm.
and with that, she gets up and pulls her robes on and basically gets ready for the day. She is moving a lot better than she was the night before. She's not, like, staggering as she walks, but it's still not as smooth as it could be.
Mhm.
But again, that's not something you can handle. That is going to be something magical in nature to be handled by somebody else.
Fair enough. I go find my party.
Party, you load up and move out. Faerith runs up before you guys leave. And, in his hands are 6 items. Otter, to you, he gives a children's book saying that he's read this one plenty and he thinks that you might enjoy it. And it has the drawing of a caterpillar on it. Kitchen, he has a set of what looks like measuring cups, but they're like the really, we would think of them like the cheap plastic ones you get with the kitchen sets when you're like 4, right? But they're like carved out of
you.
wood, so like they're the, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. This is quite nice of you.
Monric, he has one of those like soft swords. You know, like one of those foam
Okay.
swords, but this one is like, it's stabilized with like a thin piece of wood and covered in stuffing and fabric.
Are you sure you won't need it?
Mm-hmm. I have 3 more, just like it.
Okay. Then I thank you.
Fred, he hands you what looks like a bracelet made out of bark that seems to have been painted all different shades of green.
Thank you, my dear. I will treasure it.
Karasef, he didn't really get to know you, but just from kind of watching how alert and everything you are, he hands you a kaleidoscope because he thinks it's a spyglass because he's a child.
Thank you, little one.
And then Sasha, he saves what he thinks is the best for last.
Oh.
And he holds up this little ball of fur until he turns it around, and it is a tiny stuffed wolf. And he just holds it up to you for you.
Are you
And
sure?
he says, it's so that you don't get lonely. Wearing all that armor's gotta be really lonely, right? So this is so you don't get lonely.
Thank you.
Precious child.
Does he have a name?
I've been calling him I've been calling him Loop Guru. You know, like a woo, like what the sound a wolf makes.
It's an ooh kid.
No, he's a child. The fuck do you want from him? He knows that wolves howl at the moon, okay?
He didn't have like one of those, like a magical version of that rotating toy. It points at a picture of an animal and it makes the noise.
No.
He did. That
Except
one
it
went,
points
"Ooh,
to
wim."
the wolf and it goes ooh woo.
Luna.
No.
Points at the monkey.
Oh. If
It points at
I
the
could smile, Orion would, but simply kind of glances down. And remember, when a dragon gives you some of their hoard, it should be treasured.
And if you're right and I can be a dragon, then you guys should all treasure this stuff because, well, if I'm a dragon to be, then, and I am going to be a dragon. Just watch.
Kid's gonna make a deal with a dragon.
You know,
This is what we've done.
We have set this kid on a path.
Yeah. If he's not the next villain in the next campaign,
Oh,
and we're
yeah.
the main villains in his eyes, because
Yeah.
we're gonna
Hey,
meet
just
this
my
kid
toys and
in
my
like
measuring cups.
30 years, and they're gonna be the big bad.
And he's frantically writing down her notes.
This demon elf known as the Dragon Faerith.
I will
No,
take.
No, let's be real. No, it's gonna be one of you guys playing Faerith. And then hunting down each one of you as a party member in a progressively more difficult campaign.
Yo, you
culminating
see,
with them fighting all 6 of you at the same time.
it's a child. Let them dream big. Never lose that sense of wonder and those big dreams. Chase that shit.
This is
Also-
that broken version of you can be anything when you grow up. I'm sorry,
Listen.
you cannot be an elephant.
Listen,
you say
I
that,
started
you say
off as
that,
something
but-
else.
And I'm sorry, how do you think you get dragon bloodline sorcerers?
Very brave motherfuckers.
Exactly.
Like, somebody somewhere in a lineage has to fuck or be fucked by a dragon.
Enlarge, reduce.
Oh my god.
Right?
Oh my god. I can't
But
unsee
easy.
that. That's
Easy.
I mean,
Give me something harder.
to be fair,
Right, that's
Orion,
kind of the
that's what
point.
the dragon said.
But Tish.
All right,
Orion's
before we
sitting
fucking-
here thinking about this entirely logically, like, I was in a different form. Who knows? You may reach that form one day. Follow that dream.
Hey, for all you know, maybe somebody in his family has already fucked a dragon.
Make him a dragon.
I didn't say I was gonna make him a dragon. I just said he could be a dragon bloodline sorcerer.
Haven't seen you in 18 years, sweetheart.
Beautiful. Anyway, he parts with these particular toys with you guys, and then runs back to his parents as you continue on east. Day 1.5 out of your 7-day journey to Travercraig has been completed. And that is where we will pick up next week. Just a reminder, the week after, we will not have session. Let me just double check to make sure I'm saying that correctly.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Yep.
The
On
week
the
after
12th?
the 12th of May, there will be no session. Yes, that is the book you got. So May 12th, we will not have session because that'll be the Thursday before I move, and my brother and I will be dismantling what's left in my room that day. So you see that nice, lovely bed frame? That's coming apart. So that'll be Thursday, and then I'm moving on the Saturday. And yeah, it is. But we will be back on the so we'll be here on the 5th of May, And then we will be back on the 19th of May to continue on as this party heads towards Trevor Craig and a place where those who are kind of heart get punished. As always, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the middle of a pandemic still. Even though restrictions are being lifted, if you don't feel comfortable, wear your mask. Social distance when you can. Wash your hands. Sanitize as you remember to. Be kind to one another. And remember, roar for initiative. Have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.